Welcome to The Vault, where we reveal some of the best-kept secrets for success. Our show is designed to introduce you to industry professionals in TV, movies, music, sports, and business. Now, our goal is to learn from a wealth of information and use it to realize your dreams. Today's guest is a director who specializes in branded content for many luxury and prestigious brands. His clients include Lamborghini, Ferrari, Rolls-Royce, Bugatti, and many more. Introducing Cody Ebbeler. Welcome to The Vault.
Thanks, sir.
Great to have you.
Great to see you.
Yes. So, you're a commercial director.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how you got to the point of where you are now.
Went to college for photography. Did that, knew I wanted more out of my career. Mm-hmm. My first gig was with Amazon. I had produced still photography there for about a year. And then one of the weekends there was a film crew coming in from LA, and I was a PA on it for free, and it turned out to be a DreamWorks production. The producer came over to me and he said, "Hey, you're doing great. You're doing a great job," you know, and in my head I'm like, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. But I did that, and I was like, "We should do lunch." He's like, "Absolutely, here's my email," and we exchanged, and a couple weeks after I said, "Hey, I'd love to do lunch," and we did. He invited me out. I flew out to LA. I'm from Indiana at this point. And yeah, we went out there. He thought I lived in LA, so it was a shock to him when I actually, showed up a couple thousand miles away. And I went to DreamWorks. I kind of got a taste of the film world, and from then I knew I wanted to move here. I knew I wanted to be in film somehow, and that was that. To me, I decided, if I'm gonna do this, I want to be able to create something really good in short form before I'd let myself move on to anything narrative.
I see that you have a lot of great clients like Lamborghini, Ferrari, Bentley. Could you elaborate how you got those clients?
I started with event videography and photography and whatnot. And so when you're working with dealerships, most of their commercial content will come from corporate. And so to kind of segue into those brands, I started shooting event videography for them. And then one thing kind of led to another, and that's how I kind of got myself into that realm.
And then one became the next, and then you started just getting referrals.
Yeah, referrals are huge, especially out in LA, and just in the agency world especially too. I forget the exact number, but the statistic is like 94% of all work in the agency world is referred. It's a trust thing. There's so many creatives out there. You just go on Instagram forever. Endless creatives. So who do you choose? Who do you work with? There's a lot at stake. Trust is a big thing. Referrals seems to be psychologically one of the most trustworthy sources you can get. So
I know that you have a certain aesthetic, and it's like a noir aesthetic. Could you explain that a little bit and your style?
Bruno Avalian is probably my go-to director for that. He's been doing it for a while, and he's in the luxury, Louis Vuitton, Tiffany. He's done all those brands, and he's kind of made a name for himself as that noir style directing or whatever. I didn't even know about him when I was getting started. It was later that I found out about him, but I think it goes back to minimalism. I prefer to just show what's important in the frame. It helps the viewer not get so distracted. There's a style of commercial that's for the mass, that's very bright lit, like for car ads. It'll be a Toyota ad, the things going on on the beach, driving through the ocean, brightly lit, happy, 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 and buy the car. Like it feels kind of inauthentic to me a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that's just not the style that moves me. I try to create work that gives me chills. That's what I chase. That's what I kind of live for.
So give me an example of a commercial that gave you chills that you created.
The latest one was for this jewelry company called Mark Broman. He's a local guy downtown, and he gave me full reins to just create a dark spot. We kind of pitched it as this sort of back and forth thing to where it's we show the store. It's very pretty, very elegant, very very beautiful, and we'd show this sort of couple coming into the store and talking, not even talking, just going and sort of non-verbally communicating with the representative of the company as we showed her. And so they kind of go through this process of trying to figure out what the right ring is. You know, it's sort of, and we try to pitch it as like, you know, the ring's kind of calls upon you. If you're trying to get married, you know, it will call to the woman kind of thing. That was kind of fun. So, and we go back and forth through this process of trying to find it, and we cut to this very dark, moody, sort of industrial feel of this, you know, awesome old dude who is kind of manufacturing the ring. He's custom making the ring itself, and it's on concrete, it's dark, we fogged it up, and it looks so beautiful. The torch, the flame, igniting everything, it was just very elemental and beautiful, and I love it.
And so what was the response?
Client loved it. Had great response from it. It depends where you go with it. This style of content isn't necessarily for every brand and everywhere. You know, you wouldn't necessarily maybe put this as a paid Facebook ads or something like that. Not necessarily do that. But it works really well for digital, YouTube ads, that sort of thing.
So what would you say are like your, you know, like your war stories that you've had while you're on a commercial shoot? I mean, everyone has them, things that have gone wrong, things that have been kind of crazy. One
time we were shooting for a client, and they weren't they're a startup, and I was speaking mostly with the creative director. I was not going to the CEO, which for a company this small, get everything cleared by the CEO, always. I had been okayed. We built them the book. Here's what we're gonna shoot. Here's the clothing. Here's everything to the creative director, and he gave me the okay. And so we went out. This is out. It's a couple hours away location, and in the middle of the shoot, a couple of the clients there were taking pictures and sending it to the CEO, and he didn't approve any of it. It turned out. Man. So somehow in the middle of it, I'm like, what do I do? Basically, I had to quickly think of like, okay, what shots do I cut? How do I salvage this? How do I figure out how to save the project? Basically, it's a lot of money.
Sure.
And so, yeah, we switched back to the older clothing. Luckily, we had some just on standby, and yeah, you do the best you can. We got everything we needed. I just didn't get some of the extra stuff that I wanted. I think it's good for directors to make a must-have shot list and a fun shot list. You know, here's this. What are some of the things you can cut? It's really important. And I think that's also why directors are being hired. It's not just for your talent, it's not just for your look. I mean, that's a big part of it, but it's not just that, and that's important to know. It's important to, you get hired so that you can still create this product if everything goes wrong. That's why you're being hired. Yeah. That's why experience matters. When I was younger, I didn't understand. I was like, well, if a 19-year-old can produce this product and a 40-year-old can, why would you hire this guy? This guy is going to know how to get this product no matter what. Yeah. Things are going bad, things are going to happen sometimes.
Things will go bad, but if you can adapt.
Prepare. It's like the Christopher Nolan approach. You know, he's so meticulous. He has everything planned out, and then in the moment of the shot, if something goes different, he's like, let's roll with it. Like, I like that approach. Yeah. Have everything planned out and then go with the chaos when it arises.
So, let's go with some questions from our audience here. We have a live stream. Hopefully you guys can hear us. If you guys have questions for commercial director Cody Ebbeler, now's your chance. We've got Manny on here and Almost MJ. Let's see who else we got. So, it looks like people are wondering, how do you lead teams of people?
Delegation.
What's the secret for that? Like just trying to run a chaotic set.
You can't do everything yourself. For creatives, that's difficult. A lot of us are very controlling because we're afraid to let go of that. Because, you know, we all have that experience where if you let go of it, something goes bad, and you take the blame. Happened to David Fincher with Alien 3. It bombed, and everyone looked at him, and he's like, what? So, as the director, you are responsible for everything. I mean, all eyes are on you if things go bad. So, but to lead teams, have excellent delegation skills. I mean, director's job, part of the director's job is to make sure he's hiring the right people to handle things. Hire the right production design, hire the right fashion wardrobe stylist, hire the right hair and makeup, hire the right people, and then have a good producer, have a great line producer, because they're going to save your neck when it just gets so crazy that you can't literally be in 3 places at once. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Our next question is, what is your process when you are pitching a client as a director?
So your job is the most important thing is to understand what the client wants. I think me and you actually had this conversation a month or so ago or whatever, but don't be afraid to ask the client what they want. I think it seems counterintuitive at first because you feel like they're going to you to know everything, but ask them what they want. They will tell you. So 1, know exactly what the client wants. Develop something that solves their problems and also kind of looks out for any problems that they might have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so our next question is, what is the hardest thing about being a director, and what advice do you have for an up-and-coming?
The hardest thing is that it's a small industry. It looks like a big industry. Got movies that are 250, some of these commercials are millions of dollars, but it's not that big of an industry. So the hardest thing is not being able to create those big projects every day, all the time. This is my opinion, but I would suggest to everyone that you be very humble with yourself, lower the ego, and just say, okay, I'm going to also work for these big jobs, but I'm going to also do these smaller jobs. Build up retainers. That was my problem. I was like, all right, I'm going to only work on the big stuff, And even one of my mentors, his day rate's $25,000. He works maybe a couple months out of the year. It's like the projects are big, but he doesn't work that often. A lot of them don't work that often. Looks like they do, but it's not that. So my advice to young directors is don't throw away your little retainer clients. Don't do it. Build them up. Build a machine that's going to make money for you. Hire other creatives but don't let that die. Build that up alongside this big, independent director thing until you get repped kind of thing. So.
So, as you know, our show is called The Vault.
Yes.
And our best kept secrets are kept in the vault, and our job is to bust those secrets out and by bringing the masters in to talk about, once again, your war stories and things that have challenged you in the past. So what are some pieces of advice that live in your vault? Some secrets that you would like to just let everyone know about in regards to commercial production?
Learn sales. Learn marketing. I know you hate it. I hate it. Most creatives can't stand it. And the old industry, so it's still here, but the traditional industry is, okay, you're going to be creative, and I, the rep, I'm going to play business. But it's going to have to merge. It's going to have to merge. Everything has to merge. So learn your sales. Get the rep too. Get it as well and whatnot. Do it. Just go on Google, type in B2B lead generation. Just do it. That's been the best thing I've ever done for myself.
So lead us through that. If a creative doesn't know sales and they have to overcome talking in front of people, even going door to door if they have to
Sure.
Car dealerships and whoever, what are some other things you could give them as advice?
Automate as much of this process as possible. Use automated LinkedIn tools. Use MailChimp. Automate your email system. Automate as much as possible because we all hate it.
I think that is amazing advice because most of the filmmakers that I deal with have no idea that sales is so important, and I think it should be taught in film school that you, aside from making the product, you have to get eyes on the product, and to do that you need to know sales.
Yeah.
And it's so important that what you just said.
Just do it. Just do it and be consistent. That's what I would say.
We love it. Well, thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Cody, for all of your wisdom.
Absolutely.
Where do you live online? How can people find you?
You can go to my Instagram if you want to follow that, at Cody Ebbeler, CodyEbbeler, and then my website's CodyEbbeler.com.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing you online some more and also working with you on some great projects in the future. And thanks for coming to the vault.
Absolutely. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks again.
Appreciate
Take care. With that, we'll get back to you very shortly with our next guest, but thank you very much for watching the vault. Take care, guys.